Merry meet and welcome to Lux Dragon Queen Magic. I'm Taylor and today is our Divine Masculine Collective reading. And so if you're here to balance out your own energies or to check into a twin flame connection, there definitely is going to be a message for you here today. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So right off the bat, we do have Integral Philosopher coming out. I bring myself out. And as always, you may want to further pause and in order to screenshot and further engage and to further embody and engage this energy. But ultimately what we're seeing come through is that there is a need to recognize just how much you have gone through within your life and to not see the mistakes and the regrets of your past as mistakes and regrets, and instead to see the fact that you have grown so much as an individual. You have become the person that you are today because of all of the experiences and skills that you have had within this lifetime. And so right now there is a need to kind of do this check-in with yourself, with your life, with your experiences. And I'm seeing, again, journaling keeps coming up a lot within the Divine Masculine lately. But I'm seeing that you are going to want to go ahead and kind of write down all the things that have affected you throughout your life and what you learned during those times, what those experiences taught you, and then more importantly, how you got through that experience. Because ultimately what we're seeing is that you're going through this resurgence of your life right now where you're not really sure how you got to this point in your life. And instead, Spirit is asking you to understand that the way that your life has formed is exactly in the right way. You are working within your divine timing. You are working within your divine energy, and you are becoming closer and closer to who you want to be. So that's why we have I bring myself out today as the affirmation coming out today, because that's going to be so important for you to understand that it is up to you to birth out the person that you want to be. It is up to the choices that you make. It is up to the experiences that you allow to interact with during this lifetime. And so next we'll jump into the tarot. And so first we do have the Five of Clubs coming out. So this is very interesting. I'm seeing that there is a lot of tension, a lot of frustration that is happening. And ultimately, there is a lot of friction. And sometimes when that friction happens, though, it is in order to get that motivation going, in order to know and release those bonds that are holding you back into moving forward. So instead of letting yourself be held down by so what I'm seeing is if you saw like one stick under being held down by four others, and instead what Spirit is saying is that you can remove those other four sticks and use them to build yourself up instead of holding yourself down. So again, needing to know exactly the experience and skills that you have gained within this lifetime and understanding how they serve you rather than demolish you or diminish you. Okay, and then next we do have the Ten of Pentacles coming out. So this is absolutely beautiful because we are seeing that you are going to be stepping into this abundance. So I'm hearing there's a really great family time coming for you. So there's going to be an event happening where you kind of are able to truly enjoy yourself and sit back and relax and see all that you have done within this lifetime. I'm also seeing 5 jumping into 10. So for those checking in with a twin flame partnership, something I'm hearing is that your twin flame, we don't have other cards out here, but I'm seeing that if they were to complete the other 5, they would be a 5 of Cups right now. So they're also going through some regrets right now, and they're not really sure how to move forward. And so you're feeling restrained and held down by this fiery energy, and it's making you angry. And then meanwhile, they're feeling sad and alone and unsure of how to move forward, but both of you are needing to move forward into that next step. And so together, though, you will bring forth this Ten of Pentacles, and you will be able to further embody and understand what it means to have those happy endings, what it means to truly be abundant within this lifetime, what it means to have your wishes granted the way that you want, the way that you have manifested them is ultimately the energy that's coming through. So yes, I'm definitely seeing that there's going to be an event that kind of helps sink this in. Like there may be a wedding that you go to and you're kind of like sitting down and like watching everyone have the time of their lives and you're just sitting back and relaxing. This also could just be like a simple family dinner where like afterwards the kids are playing outside or there's a board game being played while the adults talk, and it's just this really beautiful, interesting energy of sitting back and recognizing all that surrounds you and how truly abundant you are within this lifetime. The other thing that I'm really getting with this, because this really is a big future card right now, but there are certain traditions that you will recognize that you want to move forward with your life, with your person and your character. So again, understanding those experiences, understanding where you've come from and how you've become this person is going to help you move forward. So especially if there's any competition around you right now where you're not really sure how to step out of your comfort zone, that is what this energy is telling you, is that you can step out of your comfort zone because there is no competition. It all leads to your great happy ending. It's just another step on the path. Okay. And then next we do have the Ace of oh my goodness, Pentacles. So I was going to say diamonds, but obviously we see diamonds, but I wanted to make sure to relate it to the actual suit. So the Ace of Diamonds, this is also the World card coming out. So after what we just said, it is so beautiful. So as always, we come to an ending to come right back to a beginning. And this beginning is so interesting because it's a beginning that steps into, it's a beginning that is also an ending. So there's something beautiful to recognize around this. Okay, so something too that I'm hearing in regards to the twin flame connection is that may be something that you're stepping into, is understanding co-parenting. Okay, yep. So if you have recently separated from your partner, but you have children together, or you have even a shared pet, but some kind of situation, maybe a shared business, but some kind of situation where you need to overcome your own personal feelings for each other in order to work together to bring about something great and beautiful, and to, especially children, to really help the children feel stable within this rocky time. So that's again why we're seeing this 10 of Pentacles come out, because you are going to be able to achieve that, and you are going to start again. You're going to recognize the abundance that you have within your life, and you're going to see more about how you can obtain that using the skill set that you already have. I'm not saying that you need to go learn anything new right now. I'm not saying that you need to become someone different. I'm seeing that you're becoming exactly who you are and who you always were meant to be. So there's this very interesting energy, because it's going to feel like it's very new. It's going to feel like you're being someone different, like you've changed, but the reality is that you've just let yourself go more in a good way. And then but ultimately what the main message that is coming through is that you're going to have this new opportunity come forward from you, because you're going to have that great co-parenting relationship, that great co-relationship with that partner that is no longer romantic, but you're moving forward into this new opportunity, and you're going to see how you can still have your cake and eat it too, is essentially what I'm saying right here. And then next we do have the Two of Swords coming out. So there is going to be some indecision that you're facing, and there is going to be a lot of conversation around between your head and your heart that you're trying to move past. But ultimately what we're seeing with this energy is that you are making decisions. Okay, that you are going to need to make decisions, but ultimately you have learned to let your heart make more sense than your mind. And so you are following your intuition more closely, you're following your gut more closely, and you're going to move through these. So yes, there's still going to be decisions that you make, there's still going to be things that you're not sure how to move forward, but ultimately Spirit is saying to draw back into yourself, understand how far you've come and where you've come from, and you will know the next step that you naturally can take. The other thing I'm seeing is that sometimes the next step is one that hurts so that you can get to the rightful one. So the reason why I say that is because Two of Swords goes into Three of Swords, which goes into Four of Swords. And so the Two of Swords is that indecision where you might get hurt if you make the wrong decision. That Three of Swords is heartbreak and grief, while the Four of Swords is recovering from that heartbreak and grief. So sometimes you have to break something in order to move forward. So we are seeing this need of breaking down some relationships around you and moving through grief. So something I think I say it all the time here too, but something I say often is the fact that the 5 stages of grief, or 7 if you prefer, are not limited to when someone passes. It is grief. We go through those adjustments, those phases with any change in our life. So if it is a small change, we don't recognize it as much because we go through it very fast. But if we're going through these really big, massive changes, such as a relationship change, such as a business change or a career change, then, or even a spiritual change, then you're going to see that you need to go through those stages, because you are going to naturally find yourself in a depression. You're going to find yourself angry. You're going to find yourself bargaining. You're going to find yourself in denial. You're going to find yourself in denial. And if you don't know this already, those steps don't come in order. That I didn't even say them in order just now because they don't come in order. So recognizing and seeing all those things. And then sometimes you'll come into acceptance only to come out of it, because it is a constant cycle, just like the rest of life. So understanding, again, just how far you've come and the decisions that you've made to get you to this point and who you want to be is going to be so important moving forward. And so next we do have some Buddha wisdom coming through for us. We just have one. Guard your mind with vigilance, nurture the positive and remove the negative. Your mind will find peace. So this is so true for everything that we've been speaking about here, because it is so important for you to understand exactly how far you have come and who you are becoming, because it is the person that you've always wanted to. And if you'll find that you will have more peace in this lifetime moving forward, is a big message coming forward for all of our collective. So definitely take that how it resonates for you, and understanding maybe how your life is more peaceful now compared to the past. So maybe you had a job where you were always working and you're used to spending like 60 hours a week at work, and now you're only working 20 hours a week, but you're making the same income, but your body and mind feel like you're not doing enough because you have those 40 hours free. That is fantastic. So find peace in those moments. Find how you can feel better about yourself in that decision that you're in, that decision that you made, because you were meant to make that decision. You were meant to unload yourself from those burdens. And so now just getting used to the fact that you are no longer carrying a heavy burden can feel like you aren't doing enough, when in reality, you have done too much for too long. So definitely just understanding how taking this rest and this break is going to be important for you, and building those foundations that are truly important for you and those to come after you is what I'm saying. So interesting. So I obviously don't plan the decks I pull as I'm doing these cards, but we did see that there is a need for closure within this reading. And so we actually do have messages of closure today. So let's see what's coming out. I left a piece of me in you. So this is so interesting. So definitely take this however it resonates, whether it's for someone from your past, whether it is in regards to a past family member or friend, as well as if it is in regards to a relationship. So there is something very important, and I'm seeing it's coming back to that co-parenting. So saying I left a piece of me in you can be something as symbolic as the fact that you have a shared child together, or I'm also seeing someone may be pregnant with an actual child at this time. And so the other thing, though, I'm really picking up on this is understanding again that choice you made, that experience that you had with that individual was meant to happen. And so you may have learned a new skill when you were with them, especially if this was a business partner. You may have learned a way to better integrate yourself into this world because of that person. And I'm ultimately seeing you learned a new skill from that person. So I'm not going to beat around the bush much further from that. Definitely apply it for how it applies. Definitely apply it for how it resonates with you. But ultimately, you learned something from that person, and it is okay to take that skill, that experience with you as you move away from that relationship now. Okay? And then I did not expect to leave. So this is so true for what we're reading here, is it really seems like this connection, this closure, this closed door happened more because it's hard to explain, but more that it was part of your divine timing and a part of that person's thing. So sometimes when you come into a relationship with someone, it's not meant to last forever. It's meant to last for only a certain amount of time, even though at the moment you feel like it's going to be forever. And that ultimately is the message coming through here, is that person that you are no longer connecting with anymore, they also did not expect to leave the situation. They also expected it to be forever. And so there is this hurt and pain on both sides. And it's so important to understand that, because a lot of times we think that we're the only one hurting, especially if the other person isn't communicating it or showing it outright. So this is so important to understand that it is no one's fault as to why this relationship closed. Okay, and I am learning so much from you. So this is so interesting for me for coming out right here, because the main message that I'm seeing is the fact that, especially off the heels of I did not expect to leave, is the fact that, again, you were meant to be a part of that relationship. You were meant to be, and again, I'm using the word relationship in its very standard sense. This does not have to be romantic or even friendly. It could have been an enemy for all we know, that you just no longer interact with. But ultimately, I was going to say, or a business partner, but ultimately I am seeing that, again, you were meant to go through that experience. And even though you thought it was going to last forever, and which is why you need this closure now, because there's a need for reassurance to understand that it wasn't meant to last forever, that it was meant to only last a certain amount of time, because you were meant to learn from that person and they from you. And so also just understanding that you weren't the only one in the relationship. I think that's a very important message here. You weren't the only person trying. You weren't the only person failing. You weren't the only person succeeding. There was a partnership that happened, even if it is no longer there, and you both learned from it. So you can't decide what they learned from you, by the way. So you might have went in and been like, I'm going to teach this person how to be a better volunteer for the world, or I'm going to teach them how to be kinder. And instead what they learned was how to organize their life better. And, sometimes they just needed that stepping stone, and maybe they'll circle back to those other lessons that you wanted to teach them. Or maybe there will be someone else who comes in and says, no, you do still need to learn these things. But the point is that they have learned all they needed to from you at this point, kind of. So the reason why I say that is because now what they're learning from you is how to end this relationship, but still maintain a good working relationship after that doesn't have so much emotions or feelings, to where you both feel like you're responsible for the other person, but instead you feel you're responsible for yourselves and for that shared entity, whatever it may be, whether it's a child, a business, or maybe a mutual friend. You never know. So maybe you're still doing like social outings with them, but now they're needing to learn. They've never had a friend after a relationship, and so they're needing to learn how to be that more accepting person to those that they have wronged or hurt, or who have wronged or hurt them. So it's very interesting energy that you are leading this past partner in understanding how to be a better person, even if it doesn't seem very direct. Okay? And then I support your path. So I very much love this coming out for you, because this is kind of just, again, I mean, these are messages of closure. So this is the blessing saying, like, you know what? This ended for a reason, and I understand that you needed to go further on. So something very important about this is to not focus on where that person that you're no longer connected to, where they went or where they're going, because it's more about you, and just understanding that they understand that you needed to go in a different direction than them, and it's okay, and they supported you doing that. So definitely no hard feelings is what is the main message I'm getting from here. And so we have one more. You will get through this. So yes, right now it seems hard. Right now it seems like you're going through a very rough time where there is regret, where there is competition and frustration, but instead you are going to be able to move forward because you have been nurturing the positive and you are removing the negative in order to find that peace. And again, we did see that you are going to have that moment where you can sit back, relax, and see all that is around you and take beautiful stock of how there is peace and happiness surrounding you. And with that, you'll be able to step into the next phase of your life that you want to step into. Because that's the big thing right now I'm seeing, is there's a struggle around what the next phase looks like. Because maybe you weren't the one who ended this relationship, but you knew that it was going to end, probably for a while before. And so that might seem why this ending was a little bit jagged. But here, we are here to tell you that it was meant to happen. We are here to tell you that that partner does not resent you. Even, by the way, even if it doesn't seem like that, even if they are saying very mean or hurtful things, right now, this is for you to move forward, because you are a leader. You are someone who is able to show them exactly how boundaries are meant to be. You are someone who's able to show them how discipline works. In a good way. We're not talking about like consequences, discipline, but discipline in regards to still moving forward when things get tough, because you will get through this. Okay. And so next we do have our Divine Masculine Twin Flame Oracle Communication book. And so for us today, what we have for the Divine Masculine, and again, this can be for balancing out your own energies or for your own connection, but we have Kundalini Awakening is one of the effects of meeting your twin flame. The Kundalini is the purpose for me to come into your life in divine timing to spark you into remembrance of your true, infinite, and immortal nature. And so when a person meets the half that is his very own, whatever his orientation, whether it's to young men or not, then something wonderful happens. The two are struck from their senses by love, by a sense of belonging to one another, and by desire, and they don't want to be separated from one another, not even for a moment. Plato. The twin flame energy can be a hurtful and exhausting process. Some of the solar flares happening in humanity, bringing new waves of energies, can bring up some deep emotions which are closely related to past karma, which aligns with the inner chakras. The twin flame love is one of the deepest in divine love. And when we meet our other half, the actual half of ourselves, whether he be a lover from childhood or a lover of another sort, the couple are lost in an awe of love and friendship and intimacy, and one will not be out of each other's sight, as I may say, even for a second. Kundalini Awakening makes us ready for the twin flame journey. Although not everybody who goes through a Kundalini Awakening may be on their twin flame path, but those souls who are will have experienced a partial awakening so that they can begin to clear out old karma and accumulated repressed energies from many lifetimes. So true after everything that we just read with these cards is the fact that you are awakening, you are stepping into your further greatness, because everything that has happened so far has happened for a reason, and you are now able to more bring yourself out. So with that, I want to go ahead and thank everyone for being here. I want to thank you for liking and subscribing. Please do not forget to comment below, gain some support from a like-minded community, and I will definitely see you guys next time. Blessed be.